Welcome to Wealth Wisdom. If you have ambitions to achieve financial success, please leave yes in the comment, and we are here to help you obtain insight and build wealth. The book we are going to share today is You Will Own Nothing by Roth. Social credit systems and government overreach are eroding individual rights. As digital advancements reshape our world, we must stop and think, are we inching toward a future where personal rights are secondary to government control? The concerning dynamics of social credit systems have begun to show up in our society, especially during challenging times like the COVID-19 pandemic. Imagine Jenny, a frontline worker with a lifetime of dedication to her job. When the pandemic hit, she held firm, aiding countless individuals. However, due to her religious beliefs, she couldn't get vaccinated. Despite years of service, she was denied an exemption and faced termination. Her story is emblematic of the broader issue at play, where government decisions control people's access to economic opportunities and employment. Jenny wouldn't have been alone. Across industries, employers faced pressure to let go of those not complying with vaccine mandates. This systematic sidelining of nonconformers feels eerily similar to China's social credit system, where everyday actions can dictate your societal standing. The system monitors personal behaviors, associating them with rewards or penalties, pushing individuals to adhere to a government-preferred narrative. So, why should you be concerned? Enter central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. CBDCs are digital representations of a country's currency, centrally controlled by respective governments. Most people use digital currencies held by the private banks where they have their accounts. But with the introduction of CBDCs, governments are creating a system where they can directly control and monitor the flow of money, potentially giving them unprecedented power over individual financial transactions and, by extension, aspects of personal freedom. Your digital wallet might reveal more than just your spending habits, it could determine your societal worth. For instance, consider a future where your digital wallet restricts you from purchasing certain items because they're deemed not green enough, or because you voiced an unpopular opinion online. These examples aren't just science fiction, they're potential real-world implications of merging social credit ideals with CBDCs. But before we become overwhelmed with apprehension, let's think proactively. Firstly, it's crucial to remain informed about technological and governmental shifts, understanding their implications on personal rights. Stay engaged, ask questions, and encourage debates on these topics within your community. Secondly, advocate for transparency and policies that prioritize individual rights over unchecked government control. Only by shining a light on these emerging challenges can we hope to shape a future where technology serves us, rather than the other way around. Before we continue, if you are interested in this topic, please consider subscribing and give us a thumb up. Let's continue. Shifting global financial powers are enabling a new financial order. The theater of global finance is more than just currencies and stock prices, it's an intricate dance of power, influence, and strategic maneuvers that are redefining the fabric of our societies. Shifting global financial powers, driven by influential elites, seem to be ushering in a new financial order, one that threatens to restrict individual freedoms and wealth creation. This isn't the plot of a gripping thriller, but a reflection of our unfolding reality. Historically, the financial dominion of a country was defined by its prosperity, debt management, and strategic prowess. The Dutch and the British, with their expansive financial empires, had their moment under the sun, only to be eclipsed by unforeseen challenges. Take the Dutch tulip mania in the 17th century, for example. This speculative bubble led to catastrophic losses, tarnishing the once glimmering reputation of Dutch financial prowess. Similarly, for the British, the Suez Crisis in 1956 contributed to a loss of confidence and a decline in its global influence. The US, a current superpower, seems to be treading a similar path. Decades of prosperity and global dominance are now coupled with signs of potential decline. Factors like excessive borrowing, domestic disputes over wealth distribution, and a challenging global landscape signal a resemblance to empires of the past. The recent geopolitical chess move, where the US froze Russia's central bank reserves during the Ukraine invasion, was a double-edged sword. While aimed at curbing a geopolitical adversary, the decision cast doubt on the trustworthiness of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. Such actions showcase money's potential to be weaponized, leading to larger global distrust. For the everyday individual, such international maneuvers could pose a threat to property rights, hinting at the possibility of governments seizing assets without substantial justification. Certain elite organizations play their own part in the evolution of our social landscape. Take the World Economic Forum, or WEF, a lobbying organization for multinational companies. While initially dedicated to global management, it now seems entangled in broader economic and political narratives. One of their initiatives, the Great Reset, even advocates for a future less dependent on individual ownership, leaning more toward shared access and rentals. While it's easy to dismiss such projections as merely speculative, the influence of organizations like the WEF, coupled with backing from big tech companies, underscores the gravity of these ambitions. The role of technology in this evolving landscape cannot be understated. Technological giants like Google, Meta, and Amazon, with their unparalleled influence, play a significant part in shaping the emergent financial and social order. Take, for instance, Facebook's attempt to introduce its own cryptocurrency, Libra, now known as Diem. While marketed as a tool to empower the unbanked, critics argue it could destabilize traditional financial systems, placing a disproportionate amount of power and control in the hands of a few tech entities. Similarly, data collection and monetization practices by these companies present a looming threat to individual privacy. Their vast resources, paired with an aggressive focus on profits, have real implications for individual rights, freedoms, and even the integrity of democratic processes. The challenge, then, lies not only in discerning the motivations behind their innovations, but also in measuring the ripple effects of their actions on our global financial and societal frameworks. The intertwining of elite organizations, tech behemoths, and geopolitical strategies paints a picture of an evolving world order, one where the balance of wealth and power may tilt away from the individual. In this world, freedoms once taken for granted may be curtailed, and it will be vital for our collective future to understand the shifts that are occurring. As history remains our guiding light, it warns us of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of preserving individual rights in the face of sweeping change. Institutions are saddling young people with debt and limiting their ability to build wealth. For many today, the idea of higher education, once seen as a golden ticket to a prosperous future, now only represents mountains of aspiration-destroying debt. Imagine, for a moment, stepping into the shoes of a bright-eyed, hopeful college graduate named Emma. With a hard-earned degree in hand, she should be on the path to success. But instead, she finds herself ensnared in the trappings of a system that seems to be working against her dreams. This story, sadly, isn't unique to Emma, it's a reflection of a growing challenge young people face today. Once seen as a gateway to prosperity, higher education now feels more like a chain of financial bondage for many. To put things into perspective, student loan debt in the US has soared to a staggering $1.6 trillion at the time of writing. But the gravity of this situation isn't just in the sheer size of the debt, it's in the unfortunate reality that the return on investment, or ROI, of a degree isn't guaranteed. Ideally, college debts, like Emma's, should be seen as an investment, something she can pay back within a few years, enabling her to reap the rewards of her education. But instead, she finds herself trapped, struggling to see a future where her education pays dividends. Now, earning a decent paycheck post-graduation should ideally be the lifebuoy that keeps graduates like Emma afloat. But here's the twist: higher earnings don't always equate to wealth creation. With monthly loan commitments looming large, even decent salaries are often insufficient. The weight of debt postpones not just financial milestones, but personal ones too, from buying a home to starting a family. Let's take a step back and ask, how did we get here? It's easy to point fingers at institutions for hiking up tuition fees, but there's another player in this narrative: the government. Policies like the stripping away of bankruptcy protections and the lack of underwriting standards have enabled colleges to keep inflating prices with little to no repercussions. While the intention might have been to facilitate education, the outcome has been a generation like Emma's, burdened by loans, struggling to start their financial journey on the right foot. The plot thickens even more when we dive deeper into where this money is truly going. College costs aren't just about world-class facilities or stellar faculties. A substantial chunk is funneled into administrative costs. It's a startling fact that spending on administrative needs often outpaces that on the actual teaching staff. This lopsided allocation not only raises questions on the value for money, but also on the true intention of such institutions. So, where does this leave us, and more importantly, what can be done? For starters, it's imperative to approach higher education as a calculated financial decision, weighing the true ROI of a chosen field of study. Secondly, advocating for systemic change is vital. By demanding transparency in tuition fees and championing loan structures that genuinely serve students, we can hope to shift the scales back to a balanced state. While the road ahead might seem riddled with challenges for young dreamers, understanding the pitfalls and navigating with informed choices could well be the beacon of hope that lights their path to a brighter, debt-free future. Future-proof yourself by protecting your rights and diversifying your assets. In an era where traditional notions of possession are being challenged, understanding and asserting our rights over everything from physical assets to digital footprints becomes paramount, especially as trends veer away from the age-old value of ownership. Let's look at 4 particular actions you can take to ensure you remain in the driver's seat of your own destiny. First off, let's talk about wealth and tangible property. It's not just about having money in the bank. Wealthy individuals worldwide have always understood the importance of accumulating tangible assets like land, indicating its timeless value. But to truly step into the realm of ownership, you need to transition from mere expenses to genuine investments. This means eliminating non-productive debts and focusing on productive assets, like real estate, which not only retains value but can also appreciate over time. The key? Differentiate between spending and investing. Every penny directed toward a future that grows in value is a step closer to genuine ownership. The second action centers around the diversification of your investments. Now, while stock markets might feel like a roller coaster, with the right strategy, they can be a gold mine. Instead of randomly picking stocks, focus on companies with solid balance sheets and undeniable competitive advantages. But don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. Add tangible assets to your portfolio. And speaking of tangible, precious metals like gold have historically been phenomenal hedges against financial downturns. Their ability to retain value, especially when physical ownership is ensured, provides a sturdy financial foundation. Next up, business equity. Whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, the concept remains consistent: own a piece of the pie. As an employee, seeking equity in your workplace, such as stock options, can be a game changer. For business owners, it's all about understanding your assets. Know the genuine value your business holds and protect it, especially during challenging times. Ensure you have an exit strategy and always have assets that can serve as a safety net or even as an alternative currency. Lastly, in our technological age, owning our digital presence is more crucial than ever. Tech giants often dominate our digital spaces, acting as modern town squares. While they may host our conversations and content, it's vital to remember that we own our voice, our data, and our personal narratives. Ensuring these platforms uphold free speech rights and remain accountable is part of that ownership. We need consistency in the application of rules and measures to prevent collusion between tech firms and government. Think of it as owning a piece of land in the vast digital world. You must protect your boundaries. That means safeguarding both your digital and physical identity, emphasizing privacy, and minimizing reliance on invasive technologies. Own your space, own your voice, and most importantly, own your digital legacy. That's the end of today's sharing. If you like our content, please give us a thumb up and share it with your friends. See you next time.